Hi, more games from the US Chess Championship. I'm going to focus on the big three from the first round, and this time it's Hikaru Nakamura with the white pieces against Ray Robson. So this time around Hikaru is the second seed, and well, most people expect Caruana, Nakamura and So to battle it out. It's also interesting to watch the other guys, because these three and then some of the other guys will be battling for a spot on the Olympia team. The American team managed to win last time, and then the big three of course will be the core, but then it will be interesting to see who will make the team. So okay, standard stuff here, king pawn opening, and instead of the Italian or the Spanish, Nakamura goes for the Scotch. Okay, we see a principled line by black here. He takes on d4, knight to f6, and Nakamura takes on c6 and plays e5. Now queen e7, which is the most common move. And for those interested in chess history, this line was heavily debated and well brought back to modern chess by Garry Kasparov against Anatoly Karpov in their match, I believe in 1990, where Kasparov won some games with the Scotch. There, I think they were mostly playing in this position c4, where the knight would then go to b6, but there's also another line with bishop to a6, and I think they played both lines in that match. But Nakamura didn't go down this path. He played h4, which is more of a modern treatment of this line, and I think this was introduced by Alexander Morozevich, the Russian grandmaster. And when asked about it, he claimed there really wasn't any big idea with the move. It was just more or less to get an interesting position and, you know, stay clear of the theoretical paths. Well, it does have one idea in some lines. You can swing the rook, depending on where you wanted to go. And well, that happened in the game, but that's always a yeah. So on to the game. a5, c4 now, and knight to b6. You can also play bishop a6 to pin the pawn, but Robson went with knight to b6, knight to d2, and queen to e6. And this is sort of a standard maneuver in these lines, usually without h4. Black can put a lot of attackers on this pawn here on c4. And queen e6 also opens up for the bishop if you want to deal a bit along this diagonal. And knight to f3 and bishop b4 check. So Nakamura interposes with the bishop, Robson swaps it off, and both sides castle. There also exists some lines where black plays bishop b7 and castles queenside, but not here when he has played a5. But okay, after long castles we have rook to e8 from black. And quite often in these lines, white has a little bit of a problem with this e5 pawn, because black can put pressure on it. Both, two heavy pieces, and the pawn breaks d6 and f6 are ready to appear on the board. And after f4, that's indeed what Robson did, d6, so he's attacking this pawn. And if you start swinging a knight over to protect it, then maybe bishop a6, we attack this, and whenever you defend it, we can undermine it with a4. So you have to be careful, because he castled here. Nakamura decided to try to defend with rook to h3. Now if takes, probably rook to e3. And now queen to h6 by Robson. This attacks the rook, and Nakamura had, of course, anticipated that and played rook e3. He can't defend the pawn, so this is a pawn sack. If rook to f3, then bishop to g4 will pin the rook, pin and win. So rook to e3, and now queen to takes f4. Okay, Nakamura plays rook to e4, but he had calculated that now he can take on d6. So now if black takes on e4, well, I'm guessing we have some choices here. Probably knight takes e4 is working, and then we get this pawn with the knight or the rook. I mean, this is just a check. Although there is bishop f5. We can play rook d2 here. This should be good for white. When you keep this pawn, if you take, I take. Okay, okay. This didn't come to fruition because Robson played bishop to e6. Now black has connected the rooks and he's trying to take on d6, so d takes e7 and queen takes e7. So after all this, we have equal material, and while black's pawn structure looks a bit racked on the queen side, it's quite okay because white can't really attack it, and the white king is also on the queen side, so you know, it gives black some open lines and possibilities. Knight to f3, so Nakamura starts to try and finish development. Knight comes into g5, attack on this, so the knight must go back to f8, and now queen f2. Primary idea, of course, is to free this bishop to develop. Also, as a cheapo, if knight takes if knight d7, maybe rook takes e6, and we have queen to f7. But of course, it's too simple at this level, and rook a to d8 was played, and now bishop d3. Now here, Robson definitely doesn't have any problems. He plays h6, kicking the knight away, and Nakamura takes on e6, and rook takes. Queen to f3, rook e to d6, and Nakamura has to retreat with the rook e to e1. And I think black definitely has a very slight edge here, but it's not much. The knight comes into e6, king to b1, and h5. Okay, of course, if we take, then this will hang, and this will become weak. So bishop to c2. Nakamura decides to neutralize the threat on the d-file. Bishop takes d1 and g6. Actually, this game only lasted 2 more moves. After bishop c2, the knight jumped into d4, and after queen c3, Nakamura offered a draw, which Ray Robson accepted. Now, black is probably for choice here. He has a very nice knight here on d4, which white can't really notch away, and if we want to cement it, we can play c5 here even. But it's really hard to make any progress, and usually Ray Robson is in time trouble, so a draw was agreed. So a draw for Nakamura and Caruana. Probably Nakamura will be more upset that he wasted the white pieces, but nonetheless a tough opponent, so you know, can't really be too unhappy. So a draw agreed, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.